Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today in gaming, Activision might be taking a bold step in a new direction. Next-gen console sales shattered records, Valorant's third act update is live, and much more. Activision may have cancelled this year's Call of Duty game. It was rumored to be a World War II game developed by Sledgehammer Games as a follow-up to 2017's Call of Duty World War II. That game was also made by Sledgehammer. The rumor about this year's title being cancelled covers a lot of development info. The source is a self-proclaimed insider at Sledgehammer Games. Apparently, the studio is being moved back into a support role for Warzone and other COD developers. Infinity Ward have been given whatever they want to develop their sequel to Modern Warfare 2019. Call of Duty 2021, aka Vanguard, doesn't have a functional multiplayer mode yet. The bulk of development was focused on directly porting assets from COD World War II to the new game, but engine upgrades made that problematic. As a result, Activision put the brakes on development of Vanguard and are releasing a remaster of Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer in its place. Warzone and Cold War also get new content that ties in with this release and leads to the big reveal of Infinity Ward's next game. Again, the origin of this leak is a post on 4chan. Others then posted it on Discord, where Activision allegedly issued a DMCA claim and got screenshots of the text post taken down. Now, these are some bold claims, and 4chan is basically a meme factory, so these rumors and the supposed takedowns by Activision could be wildly inaccurate, if not outright fabrications. Activision have published a new Call of Duty game every year since 2005. That's 16 years of annual releases. Activision missing a year sounds absurd, but they've also never had to develop a game during a pandemic. Just take all of this as pure speculation for the moment. In Warzone news, Raven just released an update that fixes the under-map exploit. Several locations across Verdansk that allowed players to slip under the map have been patched up. Issues with the Hunt for Adler challenge not tracking were addressed. A bug that kept the cracked gas mask overlay on screen permanently was fixed. The patch also addresses a few other minor issues, and a future patch will make balance adjustments to the Amex, Farah, and Bullfrog. The PlayStation 5 shattered industry sales records for Sony's fiscal year 2020. The console sold over 7.8 million units. That puts it ahead of any other console in history in terms of first fiscal year sales. It was also a wildly profitable year for Sony, as they amassed over $3 billion in profit. In a nutshell, the PlayStation brand had its biggest fiscal year of all time. Compared to their prior fourth quarter earnings, PlayStation jumped nearly 33% in revenue. Of course, 2020 has also been a very good year for Microsoft. Xbox revenue is up 15% in their current fiscal year from the previous one. Xbox Game Pass helped increase their content and service revenue by 34%. Minecraft is also closing in on 140 million monthly active players. Like most tech and hardware companies, Sony and Microsoft are rolling in sales right now thanks to the massive influx at-home workers and consumers. That was somewhat expected, but the real test will be how far these numbers slide once the world gets back to normal. We're also still months away from consumer electronics stock shortages being fixed. The electronics manufacturing industry was hit pretty hard both by the pandemic and incredible demand for new products that is caused. It's likely we won't see manufacturers start to recover until at least early next year. Valorant's Act 3 update went live late yesterday, and the new map, Breeze, is proving to be a hit. In a lot of ways, it feels like the first map Riot have made that feels specifically built for Valorant. Riot hired one of CSGO's most well-known map designers to create maps for the game. The maps he and the developers at Riot made had striking similarities and design goals to some of CSGO's most iconic maps like Inferno and Mirage. Breeze is much more open and offers mobility characters way more movement options than other maps. However, not everything is sunshine and rainbows for Riot. They recently issued a cease and desist notice to a League of Legends fan project that restored a legacy version of the game to a playable state. The project, named Chrono Shift, was taken down by Riot due to concerns about copyright violations, among other things. The wrinkle in the story is that a Riot employee initially went after the developers in a seemingly unprofessional manner. They issued demands like handing over the project's source code and made vague threats about the project's future. Riot have since clarified that they're disappointed by that employee's actions. They also said that the demand to hand over Chrono Shift's code is standard practice in the industry, where concerns about theft or misuse of the original code occur. Fans of the project were outraged by the whole ordeal. Hunt Showdown's latest update adds a controversial new feature. Players can now select whether or not they're queued with skill-based matchmaking. Skill-based matchmaking, or SBMM for short, has become a huge topic of debate in recent years. Some players like it, others hate it, but most developers have kept the extent of their SBMM implementation under wraps. Hunt's toggle lets you queue with either players of comparable skill or its normal matchmaking parameters. The normal matchmaking likely still includes some element of SBMM, but the toggle makes it much more specific to your skill. Cyberpunk 2077 got a new update that addresses some bugs and performance issues. It's not a super massive patch like the game's most recent updates, but it still fixes some noteworthy issues with quests that would block progress. It should also cut down on GPU memory related crashes. Unfortunately, the developers still have a long way to go before critics of Cyberpunk's shortcomings will be satisfied. On last-gen consoles, it's in a playable but inferior state to where it could be. On other platforms, though, it is much more playable and probably up to the standards you'd expect, but it still has plenty of lingering bugs and performance problems. Recent patches have done a great job of improving the overall experience, though, so the developers are headed in the right direction. Resident Evil Reverse has been delayed until this summer. Reverse is the standalone PvP multiplayer game that ties into Resident Evil Village. That game launches on May 7th. Reverse had a couple of betas recently, but they were plagued by matchmaking and stability issues. It'll still be bundled for free with Village when it eventually launches. A mod menu widely used in Red Dead Online to grief other players has been taken offline by its developer after Rockstar started issuing bans for players using it. The mod menu lets players spawn objects like treasure chests, frame other players, and kill players with explosions. This is one of the most popular ways to cheat in Red Dead Online. Its removal is great to see, but there are still plenty of other cheat programs for Rockstar to deal with. The Last of Us Part 3 already has a story outline according to creative director Neil Druckmann. The sequel isn't in development yet, but he hopes he'll eventually get the green light. Naughty Dog are notorious for spending a lot of time fleshing out projects before committing to development, but they're also well known for making sequels to their biggest titles. A third Last of Us game seems like an eventuality at this point. Despite the mixed reactions from players and critics, Part 2 was a monumental hit for the studio. Before we get to our final story today, let us know what you think about Activision potentially canceling Call of Duty 2021. If that rumor turns out to be accurate, it could represent a massive shift in the franchise's future. We're curious to hear what you have to say, so leave your take on the rumors in the comments below. The launch trailer for upcoming roguelike shooter Returnal looks phenomenal. The game centers around an astronaut stranded on an alien planet where dying rewinds time before you died. However, unlike most games in this genre, Returnal has the visuals and story elements of a blockbuster title. It launches on Friday as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. And that wraps it up for today in gaming. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.